You're listening to Back to the Roots podcast. On this month's Regional Farmer Updates, we are featuring the same four farmers as last month. We also are happy to announce a new sponsor for this segment, Soil Biotics, which is owned by our good friend and former guest Todd Zare. At Soil Biotics, they offer a complete line of organic products which may improve seed and plant health and performance, improve soil structure, and may enhance or increase micronutrient uptake by the plant. This includes natural humate products, a variety of microbial products, nitrogen maintenance aids, plant foods, and more. From seed preparation to post-harvest soil maintenance, Soil Biotics organic products are formulated to work together to provide a continuous and highly beneficial growth system to meet all your organic agricultural needs. Visit their website at soilbiotics.com.
This is Thomas Heckman from West Central Ohio, May 15th. Giving you an update here for what's been going on last month. For the weather, the last first 2 weeks since the last call, nice weather, cooler. It was warmer than some, and the last 2 weeks been cold up and down. We've been getting some small rains, but not amounting to much of anything. It's really getting dry. Kind of really different spring than the last two for us since we've been so wet. It's nice spring, but it's been cold the last 2 weeks. Some frost. Wednesday morning here, there was the water lines on the pasture. They were froze. Had ice on the calf buckets, on the water tanks out in pasture. That was just Wednesday morning. But we're looking, hopefully supposed to warm up here next week, get close to the 80s and in the 80s. So we're looking forward to that. Got a lot of work done here in the last 4 weeks. Right after that last call, on the week of April 20th, we worked and planted 2 farms of oats. Worked up nice, oats and alfalfa. They went well. Both fields are up and they look good. So been real fortunate there, real happy. Last year we didn't get the oats started. We planted the last farm May 4th. It's not yet out yet. That one we put clover under. It's a wet farm. We put clover under that one. It's slow coming. Just been cold. And so that's just not coming up as quick. It's sprouted, so I haven't looked at it in the last couple of days, so maybe it's getting there. We got all the manure hauled that we need to haul this spring. Got all the litter put on, chicken litter put on, corn ground's we got it all plowed, worked down. Corn planter's ready to go. It's hooked up. We just waiting. It's so dry. Waiting for good rain. We got some moisture. Some of the plowed ground got dry on us. We worked it down right behind the plow, but it just dried out on us. A lot drier this year than we've had in a long time in the spring. We haven't been rushed. It's been different. Usually it's wide open around here, getting stuff done, and just kind of steady pace. So we're hoping. We're kind of waiting to plant corn. It's kind of hard. It's May. And most all the conventional guys are about done, corn and beans. But it's just been cold, and so kind of waiting to get some warm weather so we can plant that in some warm ground, get that corn up fast. So we're planning, hoping to catch a rain. It's supposed to rain today. Get a rain, and then hit her with field cultivator, put her in, and get that corn going. So that's where we're at on that. We don't have any first cut hay to make. That's why we started so much oats. So that helps too. We don't have that work to do. I'd rather be doing that, but don't have it. Clover's coming up nice in that trip that we broadcast. So field work wise, we're sitting really good. We could use nice rain. But if we could catch a rain here in the next couple of days and gets warm next week, get the corn planted, we'll be sitting really good. So that's kind of nice. From last year, we were rushed so bad, so late. Grazing, cows, doing well. I think this is the best spring we've had in a long time. I've never grazed this well. Probably been grazing about a month now. We turned them out right after the last call. grass is growing, but it's cold, so it's not growing too fast, so we can about keep up with it. The frost has been biting the grass some. The cows, they're milking good. I'm not really pushing them. 65 pounds, 3.7 fat, 3 protein. Fat dropped down some since we've been grazing. But I tell you, the best grazing we've had in a long time. I mean, I'm barely feeding anything at the bunk, just feeding them the grain and a scoop of silage so I can get the grain out of the TMR mixer into the bunk. So DMI is really high. I've never grazed like this before, so which we added some acres to increase our DMI. So I'm real happy. It's just that's going really well for us. So we put a creek crossing in first time. I was nervous about getting a cow through it. Never done anything like that. Put a low water crossing in, and they just went right through there. So that went well. And then with everything else going on around here, all the ag, like everywhere else, the markets, everything's in the tank, everything's down. Our conventional milk price is terrible. Haven't been much milk dumped around here. Just a few guys I heard. And then stuff's starting to open back up with these COVID restrictions. So it hasn't been real bad around here about cases or anything in our county and the surrounding ones. So they're opening some stuff back up. So that's kind of nice, and things been going. But overall, it's been a great start to the spring. Cold, but been nice. So warm up here, we'll really be rolling. So that's what's going on in West Central Ohio.
Well, this is John. I'm from Lancaster, Wisconsin. We milk 100 cows and we raise 3,500 laying hens. Right now we're got our laying hens all cleaned out and the barn's disinfecting, and we'll be getting new birds on Tuesday. So I do that with my brother Joe, and then my dad Raymond and Sherry run the dairy together. The last couple of weeks have been really nice. Weather-wise, we started grazing cows the Sunday before Mother's Day, which is about a week earlier than I normally do. About the time I started grazing, the temperature changed, and we were only getting about 25 to 30 degree nights and 50s during the day. And so I kind of had to slow back on what I normally do for grazing. But this week it looks like it's going to turn around. We just got about an inch and a quarter of rain in the last 2 days, and the temperatures for the next week are looking to be, I think 40s, 50s for a low and 60s to 80s during the day. So really hoping my grass starts taking off, because the cows are staying ahead of it fairly easily right now. So I think the last time I talked, we were just finishing up small grain. Since then, I've filled up about 125 acres of new seeding that must have got grounded out and winter kill, and reseeded that to peas and oats with alfalfa. I'm hoping to get some forage, because I only have about 50 acres of hay that's survived, and I normally have about 200 acres of hay. So I'm going to be kind of hurting without some forages. Like I said before, grazing is slowed down, and I'm hoping it really starts picking up now that we got some rain and warmer temperatures coming. The market, feed and grain and hay markets around the area have been softening a little bit. So I think the last time they were right around that $2.25 to $2.50 for ton per hay, and I think we're down into the $150 to $175 a ton. Rounds and straw is staying pretty steady. Grain, I think, is about the same as it was last time. I guess that's about it.
So this is Jon Bansen from Monmouth, Oregon, with the update of what's going on in our region. We're on the grass milk truck. milked about 170 jerseys. We are in the part of our season now where we've been grazing about 2 months. And we've already taken our first cutting of silage. Last week we put up about 750 bales of round bale silage for wintertime. And now we're getting ready to start clipping our fields behind the milk cows, starting to put some lagoon water on some of the harvested areas, and we'll be firing back up into the first part of second cutting here within about a week to 10 days probably. We've had some really warm, unseasonably warm weather, and that's that window that we did our silage in, and now we're having unseasonably cool weather with some showers, some rain coming through, which that's good for our grass. We're probably about, with this rain, it means that we have about 10 days from the end of any real measurable rainfall before we have to start irrigating this time of the season. So now, luckily with this rain, and thankfully with this rain, we're probably pushing towards after the 1st of June before we have to worry about the irrigation, which is really nice because that just adds a whole nother level of work and expense around here that we would rather not have to incur if we can. Other than that, we're starting to get in. This is the part of the season where we get into our regular rotation. After we've done that first clipping, we clip our fields after the second grazing through, so we're getting through our second grazing for the season already. And we'll clip those fields, and then we get into kind of our summer rotation because all the grasses, the orchard grass, doesn't try and send up the seed head. So we're pretty much done clipping our fields for the year. Now we'll just be grazing on that about 33, 34-day rotation and doing that. So that's pretty much what's going on in our world out here in Oregon. And remember, don't listen to a thing that Sam Dobson says. He's often a liar. I think that's my update.
All right. Thanks, John.
Good morning, Mike, and hello everyone out there in Organic Valley land and Back to the Roots podcast listener land. It's another good sunny day down here in the south. We've had a spring this year, which we're excited about, which is similar to how we reported last time, but much of the same with, the weather's been nice, highs been in the 70s and 80s, but we've actually had some cooler days where it didn't get out of the 50s with some frost last week, which I cannot remember in my lifetime the last time we had a frost on the 10th of May. It's been, I'm sure it's happened, but it's been a long time outside of my memory. So corn's getting a slow start, but a lot of people have planted. At our farm, we've put part of our corn in. We still haven't planted some acreage that we'll probably get here in the next week or two. But it's been nice because we hadn't had to be in too big a hurry, and we're getting our work done and stuff cut at the right time and that kind of thing. And, starting to think about summer annuals, but hadn't been in too big a hurry to get stuff planted just because of the cool season. Grass down here as far as grazing is, the ryegrass is still coming back nicely. But, stuff has made a seed head and lost some of its value, and we're having to make some adjustments there. I think most of the farms are still grazing pretty steady, just kind of making that transition into the latter part of the spring annuals. A lot of the perennial pastures are really good right now, although orchard grass is headed out. But you're starting to make that transition from the winter annuals into the summer annuals. So putting all the pieces together, it's just kind of the same old schedule we stay on, but maybe not as rushed as we have been the last few years. I guess the virus is the big news across the country, continues. Seems to be letting up a little bit here. Some things are starting to open back up down here in North Carolina. It's pretty slow, but piece by piece, it's starting to open up a little bit. Hadn't seen how much of how that's affected the farm side. There was a chicken plant. Tyson had a chicken processing plant near us in Wilkesboro that closed down for a couple of days last week. I think they've reopened back up, but like processing plants across the country, that seems to be the biggest. I guess it's the biggest outbreaks overall. If, no matter what the state is where these plants are. But we've been pretty good down here in the South with the beef business. We've been able to keep all of our slots for the most part. Hadn't lost any business to the virus. Milk processing plants seem to be going well and smooth. Demand certainly seems to be there. I mean, it's Organic Valley products seem to be flying off the shelves still and well, which is great to see. It'll be interesting to see how things materialize once the restaurants kind of get open back up and the world gets back to normal. But it's everybody can predict it, but I don't think anybody could really give a good prediction right now what the future holds there. So we'll just kind of see how it plays out and adjust accordingly. Conventional dairies, they're hurting down here with the prices. I think that's just the story across the nation. I don't think that's anything regional. But everybody's holding on. I think everybody's just kind of waiting for the storm to pass and get back to going. It's pretty interesting. It seems like there's a lot more. It's always funny to see how food's affected by these things. And we used to direct market a lot of beef here, and I know Chris Hoffner's, George Teague, some of the other Organic Valley guys down here direct market some now still, and their phones ringing off the hook, people looking for meat especially. I've had a lot of people call me, and it seems like kind of funny that there's more and more interest back into organics and want to know where they can get organic products. And I'm always kind of wonder if people truly know what that means when they request something like that. But I guess there's more and more consumers that are educated, and hopefully they're looking for that USDA organic seal, and that, because I always just kind of tell them where to find the products that they're wanting, and seem to be willing to pay the price, which is a good sign. Hopefully that'll continue even after the world kind of gets back normal and that stuff gets opened back up. Hopefully these consumer trends and some of this is habit instead of just kind of a sporadic thing in their buying. So we'll see how all that plays out. But overall, things are pretty well down here. We're thankful to be going and thankful to be busy, and looking forward to pressing on and continuing, and look forward to hearing how everything is in the rest of the part of the country. That about sums it up from the Southeast. See you next month.
Soil Biotics, providing full circle improvement for soil health and plant growth naturally.